Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Szabo, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
I don't know. Do we face this way? Or do we face each other?
I think each other.
Each other?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Amy.
And we are back together for an emergency episode because Taylor Swift revealed the track list for her upcoming album, The Tortured Poets Department. Now, this is a little interesting, a little weird. It's just the two of us today because we're available to come into the studio. But the way that we're sitting next to each other. But now that we're on YouTube, we are filming ourselves, but the camera's over there.
I forgot about YouTube.
So for our YouTube listeners, I know this is going to be a little different, a little interesting. I feel like I'm going to keep going back and forth from like looking at the camera and
I think
looking
fine.
at you.
Yeah, whatever's natural.
So this will be so interesting. So for those of you that need to catch up on a few things, Taylor Swift a few nights ago was at the Grammy Awards, and when she accepted the award for Best Pop Vocal Album for Midnights, she revealed that she has been working on an album for the last 2 years, and it is called The Tortured Poets Department. And then last night, she revealed the track list.
Yes, I think there was a leak, and she was forced to.
Yes, which is kind of such a bummer because this also happened with Speak Now and with Speak Now Taylor's version, that the track list was leaked and so then she shares it, obviously, but
it ruins the fun.
It ruins the fun because she's always had such fun ways to reveal the track titles. Even with The Vault, we get the puzzles. With Midnights, we had Midnight's Mayhem with Me, and then remember the rest of those leaked and then she just posted them all at once when there was just like a couple left.
Yeah.
And for this one, I'm kind of upset, especially because between now and the album coming out, there are 17 Eras Tour shows, and there's 17 tracks on the album.
Oh.
And I just don't think that's a coincidence. So I'm making the assumption, I don't know this for a fact or anything, but I'm making the assumption that she probably had some cool way to reveal like one track at a time at each show.
Yeah.
So if there's any Swifties that should be upset, is whoever's at that 5th show, because you would have gotten the track 5 title. I mean, assuming that that's what she was going to do, but the odds of there being 17 tracks and 17 shows between now and then just makes me think that maybe she had something that she was planning. But then the track list did leak yesterday. I think I saw it first on TikTok, and then, I mean, obviously it caught wind, and some people were like, there's no way this is real. You guys made it up. Because that's normal also. Like, fans just come up. Yeah, fans just come up with, oh, this is what I think the titles will be. Or they make some as a joke and then, they make headlines. But turns out that this one was real. So something that I also just love about Swifties is how absolutely quick Swifties can be. To see something that Taylor Swift, like a song title, and immediately connect it back to something else.
Right, some sort of reference.
Yes. So what was your first reaction to the track list, Amy?
Heartbreaking. I mean, some of these are really wordy, like super lengthy track titles.
Yeah.
And it just breaks my heart because it gives it more detail, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's several heartbreaking songs. My boy only breaks his favorite toys.
Is that the one that stood out to you?
She's the toy, right?
I mean, I would assume. It's so interesting because in the past, when we have gotten her track list, I feel like I see a title and I think it's going to be one thing, and then it ends up being the complete opposite. Like, I thought Karma was going to be this, like, look what you made me do type song, and then it ended up being like Karma's a cat, And then also with Folklore, when we got the track list for Folklore, and she was with Joe Alwyn at the time, but she had track titles like My Tears Ricochet, It's Time to Go, all of these that I was like, oh my God, is she about to tell us something else,
Right. Not knowing that it wasn't autobiographical.
Right. Yeah. So sometimes it can be really deceiving, but a lot of these are pretty straightforward. So she revealed the track list, and there's 4 sides. There's side A, side B, side C, and side D. And I saw a Swiftie on Twitter point out that maybe just by looking at the titles, they could be broken up. And again, we haven't heard them, so we don't know.
Right.
But based on the title, it looks like they could be broken up by the stages of grief.
I saw that.
Like you're grieving a relationship. So you have side A being depression, side B being denial, side C being anger, I think, and then side D being acceptance, or something kind of like along those lines. But that's a really interesting theory.
I love it.
So should we just go through the track list?
Yes.
So track 1 is going to open up with Fortnite featuring Post Malone.
Very excited. I'm glad it's not the game Fortnite. It's the 14 days Fortnite, the 2 weeks Fortnite.
Yeah. That's going to be really interesting to open up the album with a feature.
Yes.
So that's going to set the tone. And just knowing like Post Malone's vibe and sound, this is going to be really, really interesting. Because when you hear the title, the Tortured Poets Department, I think I was like immediately thinking like, oh, Folklore Evermore. But now for some reason I'm thinking it's going to be like the child of Folklore with like Midnights.
Yeah. A little bit more of a jazzy.
Like synthy maybe, since she's like dark synthy, like darker than Midnights. Kind of like the 3 a.m. tracks.
Yeah.
But darker.
As if we could handle that.
I know. I mean, but again, we are really good at saying things that age really poorly.
True.
So we'll have to find out on April 19th. So we have Fortnite featuring Post Malone. And that's really great also because I remember a few months ago, Post Malone had said on a podcast that he like ran into Taylor Swift backstage at an award show or something, and she really complimented his music. And he was like, oh my God. And like, that was awesome. And he's always praised her.
Yeah. And now this.
So I'm really excited for that. And then we have the title track, The Tortured Poets Department, followed by My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. And so I feel like that title already parallels like the lyric from Cruel Summer. Bad, bad boy, shiny toy with a price, you know that I bought it. And her being the toy.
I know.
I mean, us assuming, right?
Right.
Okay, I love track 4, Down Bad.
Is it like, what do you think that means?
Well, typically down bad, like in context, would be like, oh, she's like so down bad for him, like into him. Like that's a good thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've ever heard that phrase.
Oh, really? I've actually seen people use it more now that she's with Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Like that she's like at all the games, like, oh, she's down bad for him.
Okay. I took it as like down for being bad. But I guess bad for him with, you're just adding more words.
Yeah. But then I don't know how. We don't know. So that's side A.
Track 5, So Long London. Yeah. I think we know what that means.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
But the fact that that's track 5 for our new Swifties, track 5 is traditionally the saddest song on the album. And Taylor knows this.
Emotionally charged.
Yeah. Yes. And
Yeah.
so for track 5 to be called So Long London.
Which Joe Alwyn.
Yes.
The song's about him. He is a Londoner.
Yeah. A London boy, if dare I say. But that's also... Didn't she spend a lot of time in London? I mean, obviously when she was with Joe, but also when she was essentially in her Reputation era.
Yeah.
Like, that's where she hid away.
Yeah.
Right? And then we have track 6, But Daddy, I Love Him.
And that's the Whiplash track.
Yes,
that we usually
track 6
have.
was always a Whiplash
Yeah.
song. I've seen Swifties online saying that this could be a reference to The Little Mermaid because Ariel says that to her dad when she, get this, gives up her voice for a man.
Oh.
So that's heartbreaking.
I did see a bunch of pictures of Harry Styles wearing this quote on a shirt.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But
That'd be why?
That's got to...
Maybe it's Photoshop,
That's
but I
gotta be
saw
a
multiple.
coincidence. I mean, I've seen but Daddy, I don't know.
I don't know either. But I love the Little Mermaid. I'm
The
a
Little Mermaid,
fan. I used to know it word for
reference.
word. My brothers hated me because I quoted it word for word through the entire movie. Yeah.
Then we have Fresh Out the Slammer.
This is freedom.
This is crazy to think about. If you're using slammer as, prison, let's say, or jail. And you go back to He Could Be My Jailer, which is a lyric from Are You Ready For It from Reputation, right? Like, it's chronologically, that's the first song we have of her with Joe. So He Could Be My Jailer. And then recently, with the Time Person of the Year magazine, she had said, quote, "Me locking myself away in my house for years, I'll never get that time back."
Wow.
And then we get Fresh Out the Slammer.
yeah.
Again, could be about something else. We have no idea. This is us really just making assumptions off of only the track titles. But wow.
Wow. And I'm excited about Florida with 3 exclamation.
Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
I love Florence and the Machine, and this is exciting. I never would have thought of this collaboration.
Really?
Mm-mm. No.
That's awesome. So this is really important because Florida was the first place that she performed after the news of the breakup was made public.
Oh.
So it kills me that we don't know the exact timeline, obviously, of her songwriting, the relationship, the muses, like things like that. But making educated guesses, you know, when the breakup was made public, I remember all of the sources and things saying that they had like been on and off for like months. Like they just kind of had this on and off relationship, and you can kind of hear that in Midnights also.
Right.
And so, and then after that you get Florida, which is like the first time that she's in public performing after that news was made public. So like they could have broken up a long time before it was that we knew about it, you know, and like maybe she had made peace with it or it was done officially. But I did look up which surprise songs she performed in Florida. She was in Tampa. She did Speak Now and Treacherous, The Great War, and You're on Your Own Kid, Mad Woman, and Mean.
Wow.
So those were the songs that she did in Tampa. I mean, again, assuming that's the connection with this title, it could be something completely different. Maybe it's all about how she wants to go and escape to Florida, you know, for like the warm
vacation,
for the warm weather, or maybe she like, you know, got a house there and we just don't know.
Sunshine State.
You know, I don't know.
Number 9, we have Guilty as Sin? ?
Question mark. I love that.
Number 10, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me?
Yeah, that title is really intriguing to me. I also saw online SwifTEA saying that this could be inspired or a reference to the movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Oh, okay.
Based on the play, because that examines the marriage of a middle-aged couple whose relationship is falling apart. And in the movie, it stars Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, a la You Can Be My Jailer, Burton to This Taylor.
Wow.
Yeah, the fact that
it could be like their pet names for each other.
Yeah, maybe. Or like, well, because I don't, I believe that like Elizabeth Taylor, similar to Taylor Swift, was like in the public eye for like her dating life a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, I remember when she did Burton to This Taylor, it was, a reference to Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. So if that's the connection, again, we don't know. It could be completely about something else, but Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? People just thought, oh, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? And the odds, the connection there is just an interesting one. I love this next title. I Can Fix Him, parentheses. No, really, I can.
No.
That is...
The parentheses is the bad part.
Yeah, no, really, I can. But that's relatable.
It is.
And I also think that, no, you know, assuming that this is inspired by her relationship with Joe, I feel like it's relatable in the sense of like a long-term relationship, like, you know, a 5, 6, 7-year relationship. If you're in it and you want to stay in it, even though you know you shouldn't be in it, but you convince yourself, I can fix him. No, really, I can. You know? So I think this is the one that the fans were saying that this could be the denial.
Yeah, and it's sad because the time that she lost with Reputation, it could be time lost with a person, you know, like wasting on someone you know you're not supposed to be with.
Yeah, that's so true.
So that's sad. And number 12, LOML, Love of My Life.
Love of My Life.
But why? I think it's Love of My Life.
But why shorten it like that? That's what I want to know.
Because she's millennial.
Because she was just typing it up real fast. LOML. That'll be interesting. And then we have side D. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. That, I'm already shattered because, I mean, after the breakup, we would see her go up on stage, like at the Eras Tour, and perform her heart out. And we knew that she had, like, I can do it with a broken heart. And even during the Lover era, like, she would say, like, you know, I wrote these songs at a time in my life where, you know, it was fitting, and now I hope that you can take these songs and they can be ours and we remember like this, you know, the moment and things like that. And so to go out and perform with a broken heart, it kind of gives me like vibes of Believe Me, I Can Do It, like from Tolerate It, you know, gain the weight of you, then lose it. Believe me, I can do it. Oh, man.
And we've seen the whole process. We've seen her be super emotional and raw in her performances, and then a little bit, you know, like smile through those tough lyrics.
Yeah.
The heartbreaking lyrics. But
Yeah.
she's past that pain.
Yeah.
She can do it.
She can totally do it. Okay. This is the one that I think
don't-
is catching a lot of attention.
I don't like this one.
The smallest man who ever lived.
I mean, that's like a little thumb.
That's like,
you're under my thumb, right?
I mean, again, this could end up being something completely different, but that's as pretty straightforward as you can get.
It scares me.
And people have been comparing it to, so it's the smallest man who ever lived versus the loudest woman this town has ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But hey,
Great comparison.
you know what? All's fair in love and poetry.
Mm-hmm. And this is the one I was very excited about, The Alchemy. It's got witchy vibes. It reminds me of Folklore Evermore. I don't know what it's going to be about, but I'm very excited about it.
You would.
Yeah.
Like, that would be your, like,
Yeah.
the one that you're claiming.
That's it. That's the one.
And then the last track that we have is Clara Bow. So have you looked into who Clara Bow is?
I haven't got a chance.
So Clara Bow was like the it girl of the silent film era from like the 1920s, 1930s.
Okay.
And she had famously said, quote, "My life in Hollywood contained plenty of uproar. I'm sorry for a lot of it, but not awfully sorry." So she was known to have like a really fun personality, but she was really overworked and she faced a lot of celebrity scrutiny. So she was slut shamed a lot, which, like, you know, we've heard Taylor compare herself to like Rebecca Harkness because, you know, like the loudest woman this town has ever seen. She was throwing all these parties and people hated her for it, blah, blah, blah. So it's an interesting connection with Clara Bow because she was slut shamed. She was often associated with men off screen, and her romantic life became the object of a lot of hurtful speculation and gossip, including, and this was back in like the 30s or 20s or 30s. There was a pamphlet that was put out by an assistant just filled with stories of all of her relationships, which is basically like the 1920s TMZ, if you think about it. So then in 1931, she had a breakdown and she entered a sanitarium.
Ooh, was that where the story ends?
I'd have to look into more of like her.
That's
I was just trying to kind of find like, you know, a little bit of things, but it's also interesting that it's the last track because Clara Bow was also associated with football players.
Stop.
In the 1920s. She made friends with the team, I believe, at USC. She would go on double dates with them. She would host parties where people would come and there would be dancing and drinking and eating and things like that. But then later on, that came back to bite her because then that was what made the slut shaming so prominent. So I was unfamiliar with Clara Bow until Taylor Swift released the track list for this. So that's kind of just very surface level, but you know, I'm sure we'll learn more and we'll do a deep dive into it once we actually into her life once we actually have the lyrics and the song and things like that. But just like the immediate connection, is really, really interesting. And then we have the bonus track, the manuscript.
Yeah, so I thought this was going to be a super long song that was going to be a complete one side, and I was misinformed. I just think it's just a bonus song, not A, B, C, or D side.
Wait, oh, you thought it was going to be like a whole separate.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a whole nother, like, and a complete side. Like, it was like 20 minutes long. I don't know. I was thinking like this orchestra and like never-ending lyrics, and I don't think it's going to be like that.
I mean, you don't know. I
don't know.
Again, if there's anything we've learned is that we just can't predict.
But I mean, just manuscript just makes you think lengthy, right?
Yeah.
It's not a short story.
Maybe it's the 10-minute version.
Yeah. We'll see. Very exciting.
Yes.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you so much, Taylor, for this. We're sorry that it was leaked. That makes me sad. That does make me really, really sad.
Rain
but
on the parade.
Regardless, we are very excited. We're looking forward to it. When she said the title, The Tortured Poets Department, I was like, okay, this is going to be heartbreaking. And then we saw the beautiful cover art, but it does give like, you know, a little bit of heartbreak. And then with the track titles, I am just 113% convinced that this is going to shatter my heart.
Yeah.
Like I just know it. And then also with the track list, we got to see the back cover, and she's kind of like leaning her head down, like kind of like angled. But if you put it side by side with the back cover of Lover, she's like facing the same way.
Yeah.
And on the cover, there's also text that says, "I love you. It's ruining my life."
Yeah, I see. I have a comparison. It's the one with Lover. It says, "I love you. Ain't that the worst thing you ever heard?" compared to what you just said. So,
yeah, I love you. It's ruining my life. And it's interesting because it's like the text is like it's kind of spread out. And there was one SwifTEA on TikTok that was kind of asking, you know, is it possible that there could be, maybe it's a full lyric, but those are the only words that we like that are shown.
It's leaving.
Yeah.
Some spaces. Yeah.
So, and I mean, that would be very Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You know,
she loves games.
But I love you. It's ruining my life. I just am so, like, we see her now and we see how happy she is now. But to go back and to listen to the heartbreak that she went through, it's going to be tough. But we know that for her, it's therapy and cathartic.
Yeah. And she's in a better place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, did you see Travis Kelce said that he has listened to some of the songs? He did a press conference for
the Super Bowl,
the football. He did a press conference, and it was right after the track list was out, and the reporter asked, you know, like, have you heard any of it? And he said something along the lines of like, yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, I can't wait for her to shake up the world.
Yeah, she's rewriting history.
She's rewriting history.
Now.
Like, she's like, he has nothing but praises for her. And then they were like, oh, well, she just released the track list. Like, what's your favorite song? And he was like, I can't say.
that's
I
her
can't
thing.
say.
Yeah.
But I just love how wonderfully supportive he is. So.
And for her to him. It looks like a beautiful relationship.
I know.
Healthy.
I know. Oh, I'm so excited. But we love to see Taylor thrive and shine, and that's what she's doing. Also, another thing I was going to say, this is a bit of a selfish thing.
Okay.
But so the aesthetic of the album, it's white, right? Like,
yes.
She used the white heart emoji.
Yes.
She wore white to the Grammys when she announced it. Folklore's like gray. Reputation is like black and white. And then this one is like white. I'm excited because I have so many white outfits that I got for like my bridal era that I've only been able to wear once. And so I already have my outfit for our like our listening.
Release.
Whatever we do, we like haven't planned anything,
No.
but we will plan something for us to like listen to the album when it comes out. And so I already have my outfit.
I love that. I'll wear my wedding dress.
Should we just
I'll
wear our wedding dresses?
I don't know how Nick would feel about that.
You can wear Blair's.
Sure.
No, but I do have like a dress that's kind of I don't want to say it's like poetic, but it's like the one that I wore to my like welcome party like the night before the wedding.
I love that.
That's the one I think I'm gonna wear for our for when we sit and listen to the album. That's what I'm gonna wear.
You need to.
But I did think about that yesterday. I was like, oh, nice.
I did see that when she went to accept Best Pop Vocal Album, the first Grammy that she won the night, she was wearing her black gloves.
Yeah.
And then when she won the Grammy for Best Album, she had the gloves off.
Oh.
And the phrase "taking the gloves off" is like we're about to fight. We're about to throw down.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I know.
Oh
so
my God.
She announces the album and then takes the gloves off. That's got to be something, right?
Gloves off. This is what you wanted. Oh my God. Ooh.
I know. That's pretty exciting.
Wow. Oh my God. She's insane. I love her so much. Like, we are so blessed to like, A, be Swifties, B, grow up with Taylor Swift. And like, I've always said that I feel so lucky to be alive at the same time as Taylor Swift. And with each passing day, I mean that more and more.
And have a community where we can get excited together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you bring that up because for some reason, over the last few days, the haters have been louder than ever.
Boo.
They've been so loud.
Boo
And like,
on
it's
that.
just, and like, not even just like very publicly loud, but it's like, I've been getting a weird amount of just like hateful comments and DMs and email. I got a really weird email. I was like, first of all, why? But
a hater email?
yeah, but it's like for every bad, negative, mean comment that we get just for being Swifties, there is such a beautiful community of Swifties that love to get excited together, to listen to this podcast, to go to shows together, to be on social media together, to be so excited and just like share, you know, Taylor's music and to dive into it together, to crack the codes, to do the theories, to listen, to read the lyrics, like everything. I'm so thankful for this community because whenever I read a mean comment, I just know that there's a whole community of Swifties that have my back.
Yeah.
So
outweigh all the negative.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. So thank you guys. Is that it?
I guess so. Just very
Just
excited.
us. Well, thank you for tuning in to our emergency SwifTEA episode with me and Amy. We do have another episode that was posted today with Kyle. He created the Swift Alert app. So make sure you go and listen to that. He has a bunch of new features rolling out, getting ready for the Eras Tour, which starts like tomorrow night, I guess. Well, for our time zone.
Yes.
But it's, she's back in Tokyo. Or not back in Tokyo. She's going to Tokyo. She's going to kick off the Eras Tour. We have our surprise song predictions coming up as well. We do have a couple of... Oh, I will say, just for our listeners that are listening now, we recorded our surprise song predictions episode yesterday, and then we went home and she announced the track list.
Right.
So there's no conversation about that in that episode because there's nothing we do better than revenge. No, than just like our episodes just like to age.
And I'm glad that we're all on the same playing field. Like none of us guessed one of the new songs because we didn't know them.
But now that we have them, do you think that she will?
I don't think so. Not this week. I'm not in Tokyo. Maybe New Zealand or Australia.
Or maybe
the end.
Not even until the album's out.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know.
I don't know
either.
But that's what's exciting. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Be sure to leave us a nice review. Please, nice review. On Apple or Spotify, and go listen to our other episode with Kyle from Swift Alert, and then tune in tomorrow for our predictions game, and we'll talk to you then.
Soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. The 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.